Okay. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds so that my video doesn't get in trouble. Now should be a good time right now. Oh, fuck. Shit. It's July 1st. Free agent frenzy. This is the scariest day of my life right now. It's like, I'm really scared right now. I'm scared that the Rangers are gonna do something stupid here. Oh boy. I gotta pray for the best. Oh boy. Please help me, hockey gods.
I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Vancouver Canucks aren't entirely out on Brock Besser yet.
Georgiev's free agent, even though he's likely going back to Russia.
Winnipeg likes that level of secondary scoring in Brock Besser. So he's got a tough decision to make, but good news for James Duthie. I expect that, unlike Ehlers, Besser will make his call.
Ehlers, Gavrikov. Please trade Keandre Miller for Gavrikov. Jake Allen. Well, 4, really.
Another guy in an interesting position is Mikhail Granlund.
Well, he's in a fantastic
Suter,
spot. He can
Nate
play down the
Schmidt,
middle.
Ryan Lindgren. Wow, Lindgren's in the top 10.
You see Sam Bennett signed, John Tavares down the list. A lot of centers have come off, and as a result of that, Mikhail Granlund has considerable interest, like 10 teams type of interest at this point. And, you know, there was some interest there for him to stay in Dallas. He was, you know, picked up in January by the Stars, had a nice run there. But the money just couldn't work for Dallas. They couldn't get into the ballpark.
Burns, Montreal,
to keep this player, so he's going to get a hefty AAV. But I do expect it to be a short-term deal for Granlund. He's not looking for one of these extendo contracts like we saw in Florida last night.
So, Pierre LeBrun, let's turn our attention to defense. And a lot of guys signed in the last few days. A lot of players re-signed with their teams, but Vladislav Gavrikov did not with the LA Kings.
Yeah, well, with Provorov and Ekblad signing yesterday, but it's a good day to be Vladislav Gavrikov, because not only do I think he'll get at least what Provorov got in Columbus, which was $8.5 million a year over 7 years, I think he might get north of that. He might be the highest paid player in the UFA market by the end of today because of how thin the top 4 UFA-D market really is. There's Orlov, there's Lindgren, but Gavrikov is the big dog on that list, and I believe there's interest from the Rangers. And what about Detroit? We believe.
Yes, they definitely mentioned many times that he would be Rangers. But Gavrikov is actually what we need. It's like he's a decent scorer with really good defense, which is exactly what we need. So when I'm recording this, the Rangers qualified Will Cooley, Keandre Miller, and Dylan Garand, Tylen Boko, and Brendan Brisson.
But there's also a good amount of
Zach Jones
going to get traded.
And one of the stars
meanwhile, Zach Jones,
and of course, getting traded to Carolina.
Arthur Kaliev, and Jake Leschyshyn did not qualify. So the Rangers are gonna try to put Keandre Miller over Zach Jones, which is stupid. It's like they're killing Jones. They fucking killing Zach Jones.
Tons of space that are going to have to overspend today.
Oh yeah,
to the floor.
Brad Marchand, 6 years. Like really? Bennett extension, Ekblad extension. Ivan Provorov for 7 years, $8.5 million. That's a Darnell Nurse 2.0 deal. And Mitch Marner sign and trade, 8 years, $12 million. Yeah, the core 4 is done.
4 years at 10.5.
The biggest one I'm shocked is Brad Marchand. It's like, did I expect him to get extended? Yes. Is he good? Yes. But a 6-year deal for a 37-year-old man? Like, he's going to be 43 at the end of this contract.
To happen. Oh, did stick around despite the opening, which is shocking.
Well, usually in years past, I would kind of give you this one if it became like a bit piece thing where I got I'm giving you one for the day right now. It's for the day.
Don't come to you ever? No. Seems like it's going to be a lot.
I mean, this free agency, the biggest thing I want is Will Cooley to get a long-term deal with the Rangers. Like, seriously. If they fail to extend Cooley, or they give Keandre Miller a long-term contract.
Guys are getting paid.
I've lost hope in this team.
Crazy the money that's being tossed around, but I love
No ex-player bitterness at the end of the table.
I gotta say, if Zach Jones is leaving the Rangers, I want him to play with the Montreal Canadiens. Because I know Marty St. Louis sees value in Zach Jones. Not only is he going to make sure that Zach Jones play, but he's going to give him top defensive minutes.
Just quickly off hockey.
He's going to make Zach Jones Lane Hudson 2.0.
Oklahoma City signed.
Who won the day? Bill Zito's already won the day.
So it's over.
Yeah, Bill Zito
We don't have a
definitely.
trophy like we do on trade deadline, but maybe we should have one for the
We should, because he's won it, and they are the clear-cut favorite to be the Stanley Cup champions in 2026. I don't think there's any doubt. We'll probably get asked, okay, who's the favorite to win the Stanley Cup? It's Florida.
It could be
Yeah,
a Jim of the year, which
definitely.
he never wins.
Yeah.
That's Jim Nils Award. Bill Zito can get our free agent award.
I think culture's tossed around a lot in professional sports, like building a cult. Those guys down there, they truly do have a culture, and the main focus of it is winning. They're a bunch of old school guys. Yes, they
in
like to win a
Florida.
championship and poke fun at the song and make fun of the players.
yeah,
And I didn't
exactly.
really
The
love that, but
culture
their culture
is
down there,
actually
it's about
damn
winning.
good.
Like playing a brand of hockey.
This is probably the last thing you want me to ask you, and you can tell me to get lost. But you got 3 big-name free agents. How quickly do you get into that? Can you bring possibly them all back? Can you bring 2 out of 3 back?
I think we can bring them all back.
And they did.
With sizable hometown discounts?
Let's just leave it at that.
Got it.
You did get it.
Discount.
Yeah, he
And we won't go
did.
too far down the stretch today,
Ekblad,
but
big
there are tax
extension.
implications to some of these
Sam
contracts.
Bennett, big extension.
Yes, took I guess, a discount,
Marchand,
not really.
and overpayment.
It is a factor, not the factor, but it is a factor, and it's a big one.
Kachuk, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Marchand, Lundell, Jones, Ekblad, Forsling, all locked up until at least 2030. You know, we talked about this whole core 4 thing. That's like a core 11 or something.
Yeah, big
That's the
core.
biggest factor is like we just talked about what the principles are and their culture.
Though
One of their
unlike
biggest
beliefs,
things
they
is depth.
actually deliver when it
True
matters
depth. It's
most.
not a
Like
4-4
Marchand
where
is
it's
getting
like Edmonton or Toronto or
old,
different
but
teams where it's like
he's
those
still a
guys have to do it, it
playoff
doesn't matter.
warrior.
There's multiple options. You just mentioned all
Pretty
the
much
players that
many
are
of the
available
Florida Panthers
to
are
help
playoff
contribute offensively or
warriors.
make things happen.
You can
They took
even say
turns
that the
all through
fourth
the
line
playoffs
are
making it happen for the
warriors.
Florida
Like,
Panthers. It was
so
the
it's like
ultimate sign
Paul
of
Maurice
actual
always
depth on
tells the
offense.
fourth line that they were down 2-0 against the Leafs, and that they were the reason why the Panthers came back.
Chuck, he wanted to go there. He would get being paid $3-4
I mean,
million
like
more
at the
now.
end of the game,
If you don't miss on those
when the
contracts,
Panthers won the
that's why you
cup
go
in the
along with
dying
these players,
seconds,
and if it
Paul
works out
Maurice
well,
made
then
sure
you
that
find
the
yourself in a
fourth
great spot
line
years
or the
later.
last Panthers on the ice in the dying seconds. He's like, again, telling them about the Leafs series. It's like, you guys are what brought us back to beat the Leafs. You're the reasons why we're here.
Look at the top of the board. We got some.
And he even uses that in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals when Nosek cost the team the game. Paul Maurice just goes to Nosek and it's like, do you remember when we were down 2-0 against the Leafs and we came back to beat the Leafs because of you and your line?
A lot of great players that have been plucked off. They usually excel in.
Yeah, and now what about Brock
Oh,
Besser?
$8 million for Gavrikov.
30 goals once in the 9 seasons he's been with the Canucks. Do we expect him to be more productive wherever
Oh
he
yeah,
lands?
Brock
He will be
Bozer
productive.
is a
The
free
only reason why
agent.
he's never really hit 30 goals on a consistent basis.
The biggest story really is what's happening to the cap. The flat cap era officially over with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, the
With
cap
our
is
team
going
payroll
up.
skyrocketing from 3 years at 81.5 million
And a lot
to
more.
a projected 95.5, then 104 and 113.5 million over the next 3 years. So if you take that 81.5 to 113.5, terrible math, but like 40%, the cap going up over a short-term period. So we're likely to see some silly numbers thrown around today and definitely over the next couple of years as other guys reach UFAs. The biggest, of course, signing and the biggest free agent available was Mitch Marner, who signs the deal with Toronto, goes to Vegas. This morning he posted on his Instagram a goodbye letter to Toronto and the fans of the Leafs. I'll try to read it for you quickly. Now that my time in Toronto has come to an end, wanted to share what these last 9 years have meant to me. Leaving isn't easy. This is the city where I grew up, fell in love with hockey, where I've had this incredible honor of living out my childhood dream, wearing the Maple Leaf on my chest wasn't just about playing for a team, it was about representing my home. When I was drafted, all I wanted to do was help bring a Stanley Cup to Toronto. Always the goal, came up short. I know how much that means to the city. I know the expectations that come with wearing this jersey. I gave everything I had, but in the end, it wasn't good enough. Hard to admit because I wanted it so badly for all of us. To the fans, thank you.
I mean, given
you, passion, pride, hope, pressure, the support, you care deeply. Thanks all those coaches, trainers, equipment managers, etc.
Well, deeply until they lose again.
Every bit of belief. As I prepare for what comes next, he finishes, I leave a different person than I was at 18. I'll always be grateful for my time here, and most of all, so proud to have been a Toronto Maple Leaf with heartfelt thanks. That is the goodbye note from Mitch Marner. I mean, we'll talk about the implications on Toronto.
When you talk about pressure, I mean, intrinsically within that organization, it's cup or bust for them too, right? So there's going to be a lot of pressure on them there as well to perform when it matters the most. But no question about it, this is a guy that can produce points and he can dance and draw to him, and he can dish that puck to someone like Eichel, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Given all they have, I don't know if it's the case because it seems when it comes to the playoffs, he's invisible at best, dreadful at worst.
Golden Knights, we've seen it in the past. They don't screw around. It's like this is going to work. We're going to win, or we're going to make changes. So there's going to be. It's not like he's just going there to say, nobody cares about hockey here in Vegas. There is a burning desire to win. The expectations.
But they traded Marner for Nicola Waugh.
And it's real simple.
That's definitely a downgrade. You couldn't get someone like Mark Stone.
They get Eichel. They get Marner. They're not.
Or Olofsson.
Does he make them the favorite in the
West? Or Riley
Smith? I don't know if they're
the
favorite because I still think they have some gaps in their team. One of the things, getting Sissons and getting Jeremy Lauzon, like Sissons becomes a really
Colin Sissons is a Golden Knight now.
Lauzon's a hard competitor.
And Jeremy Lauzon.
But I walk away from this thinking.
Didn't exactly light up the playoffs at important times for their own team.
Yeah, for Nicholas Hague,
about change here.
The original Golden Knights draft pick, it's gone.
They don't make anybody afraid.
It is their 7.6 to make that.
Well, Mitch Marner is going to be 93.
He'd have to sign for over 16.
Interesting.
Right. 16. He'd be the highest paid player in the world to take home the same amount of money as he's going to take home from Vegas. Right. Toronto would never pay him $16 million. Right. And I don't think Jeff O'Neill would be okay with him getting paid $16 million. So
$16 million, that's overpayment.
The reason the tax matters is because...
you're too kind, James. Thanks.
Kevin Weeks.
Kevin Weeks, Marty Biron, and Jay McLennan. James, to say thank you for what you just said, I'll give you some news. We just got a free agent signing. Our Pierre LeBrun tells us that Jake Allen has re-signed with the New Jersey Devils. It's a 5-year deal. $1.88 million.
Whoa, 5 years for Jake Allen.
We were thinking at some point there was talk about $3 million a year, but 1.88.
Oh, so it looks like they got their goaltending in long term.
I'm a little surprised
at
the number, but I think it's
Markstrom for 4 more years, and now Allen for 5.
Jake Allen's really happy here. I've spoken to his agent, Alan Waugh, before just posting that on Twitter. Talked to him last night. Jake Allen loves being a New Jersey Devil. He's been excellent.
They got Jake and Jake.
Number one, he handles the puck exceptionally well. He's a winning goalie. His teammates love him. So he loved the fit. They loved him. Hence the deal here in the Garden State.
That's really what it was. And Weeks, you just nailed it. It's term. They said to him, how much do you want to make? Well, you want to make $9 million. That's probably the going rate as a free agent.
He's going to be 39 at the end of this deal.
You're right.
Wait, Jake Allen, they were going to offer him $9 million? That's a gross overpayment if he took that.
It's not money. Yes, it's money, but it's also term.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, it sounds like he doesn't care about the money. He just wants the term. He just wants to stay with the Devils.
The market is getting really, really thin, right? Thatcher Demko signs an extension. Got Allen left. Gibson got traded. Who's left? Like if you're
Samsonov is now number 1.
I know exactly. You got Vladar, you got Samsonov, Forsberg, Georgiev. Look, it's very thin right now.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody wants Georgiev.
1.8 over 5 years.
Now that Demko got the extension.
I think what you have is the luxury of patience here, because
they said Demko got extended
in a row with the tandem that they have in place, making a total of 3.6
But how patient can you be when you know your goal?
Demko got extended for 3 years.
All of a sudden go,
we look in the mirror and go, hey, we might not make the playoffs. We have goaltender X available. I think you have the luxury of being patient if the Edmonton Oilers.
It's the Colorado plan. Right now, because there's nothing available, you may have to punt it down to, again, November and see what we see. You're looking at it, and maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs should look into trading Joseph Woll because the market may
why would they trade Joseph Woll? They need him.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Also want to say happy Canada Day and happy birthday to our man Noodles. Happy birthday, Noodles.
Yesterday. And
8.5 million per year for Demko.
He's changed.
And we will have a lot of time to ponder today because there's still not a huge market in free agency for goaltending. However, don't be surprised if you see some wheeling and dealing, especially from the Oilers' standpoint. They've got two goalies, Skinner at 2.6.
Yeah, I feel like the ones that need goaltending are the Oilers.
Are pending UFAs after the following season, so something's got to give, James.
Okay, while we wait, let's see what other free agents happen. Yeah, it works now. Okay, Jake Allen, 5 years. Major sign-in. Ooh, what is that? Logan Stankhoven, 8 years, $6 million. Seriously, Colorado, you made a big mistake giving him up too soon. Joel Hanley for 2 years. Tony DeAngelo is going back to the Islanders for another year. Connor Garland, 6 years, $6 million. Wow. And there's Thatcher Demko, $850 million. Well, Thomas Nosek is coming back to the Panthers. Well, under $1 million? I thought it would get more than that. Evan Provorov, Kuzmenko, Lorenz, Marchand, Marner, Evan Bouchard, 4 years for $10 million. Alexander Romanov, a big extension with the Islanders, 8 years, $6.25 million. Kasperi Kapanen is coming back. Nicholas Hague, 4 years with the Predators. Morgan Geekie, 6 years, $5 million for 1 season of first-line production. Then Matthew Nye, 6 years, $7.75 million. Giroux is coming back for another year. Philly Uso with the Ducks now. It's like you got to serve as a backup to Lucas Dostal. Dante Fabro got a 4x4. Julian Gauthier is another year with the Islanders. Joe Hofer, an extension with the Blues. Hayden Fleury with Jets. A 6-year, $5 million deal for Kevin Ball. What? There's Sam Bennett, Noah Dobson. We got Noah Dobson. 8 years, $9 million. Jack Quinn is coming back. John Tavares is coming back by 4x4. He took less than before. An 8-year, $3 million deal. 8 years for Trent Frederick. 8 years for a third liner. That makes no sense. Jamie Benn comes back for another year. JJ Peterka, 5 years, $7 million with the Utah Mammoth. Maverick Bork's coming back. Niels Lundqvist is coming back. Eric Robinson, 4 years. And Jonathan Taves is coming back to the NHL, to his hometown Winnipeg Jets. Matt Duchene got 4 years, $4 million. Fabian Sutherland coming back to the Senators for 3 years. Ryan Donato, 4x4. Anything on the Rangers right now? Let's see if they said anything about the Rangers. Still can't believe that they're letting Zach Jones walk. He's the guy we need. And they just got rid of him like he's nothing.
Yeah, so the Canadians were able to check one of two major items on their checklist in bringing in Dobson, which can fill in that void left by the retirement of David Savard on the blue line. But then you look up front.
Yeah, but even more.
Bolster this second line, and if possible, bring in a strong 2C. But as Jeff Gordon alluded to last week, this is a competitive market right now. And
Dobbs is going to be a free agent.
Christian Dvorak and Yoel Armia. Dvorak in particular.
Why are you looking for a top two? You got Suzuki and Doc.
Back at a lower rate, just to give the Canadians some insurance at that centering position.
Now with the Ottawa Senators, Steve Staios has done some business already, getting Claude Giroux on an extension, Levi Merilainen, Nick Cousins as well. What's left for Staios?
Nick Cousins got extended as well.
Yeah, well, James,
and
even
Levi
with those signings, he's managed to
Merilainen.
keep $7.3 million worth of cap space. And right now for the Ottawa Senators, it's about adding a proven goal scorer, because last year they were 28th in the league when it came to even strength goals. Beyond
1 year,
who led the group with 29 goals,
under
only
a
4
million.
skaters eclipsed that 20-goal mark. He has progressed really well, but there's questions if he's going to be ready for training camp. And then
wait, where's Anton Forsberg?
There's listed as left D, but
and those guys learning what they saw in the first round last year, in Tim Stützle and Batherson and Cousin, elevating and being even better.
Not
being
Cousin,
dominant players. That's what's gonna help the
Cousins.
Sens along.
Yeah, so nothing has changed yet. Oh, let's see, trade. Let's see what. Ooh, Victor Arvidsson is traded to the Bruins. Yeah, Mitch Marner for Nicola Waugh. But you couldn't give Toronto a first-round pick? Ooh, Caden Primo traded to the Hurricanes. Yeah, Vegas definitely won that trade.
A lot of money to be spent, led by San Jose at $44.1
San Jose, really?
of cap space, and that's where you might get some funky contracts because they have to get to the floor as well here.
We've got another deal to talk about: the Montreal Canadiens and St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, kind of a creative deal here, Gord, because it involves two prospects that were both in the 2021 draft in the first round. Zach Bolduc from the St. Louis Blues, coming off a breakout season, 19 goals this year, goes to Montreal in exchange for Logan Mailloux, whose path to the Montreal Blues.
Oh, Logan Mailloux.
They've obviously got a lot of young defensemen in that system. Just made the Noah Dobson deal a couple days ago, and so this is a way to give each player a little bit of an opportunity. And obviously, in Mailloux, someone that the St. Louis Blues coveted here.
Yeah, and this may work out well for both teams given the ceiling on both these young guys, but certainly this could have been a bigger trade. What we've been reporting for almost a week now is that the Canadians and the Blues had conversations about Jordan Kyrou. Kyrou's full no-trade clause kicked in at midnight last night.
Wow, looks like the Blues are giving Bolduc up so soon.
We said
it's gonna be like Jake Wallman all over again for the Blues.
Motivated to trade Jordan Kyrou, except that he was certainly investigating what teams are willing to pay up for him, kind of like he did with Braden Shen for the trade deadline. The Blues, you gotta be an idiot to get rid of Jordan Kyrou.
Not just to spend money, but
like if Kyrou gets traded, the Blues are gonna be less good.
Yeah, I mean the playoff drought in Detroit is long enough. It's 9 years and counting, and there's a hunger within that organization, fan base, to get back into the postseason. Given the history of the Red Wings, they were counting, hoping is probably a better way to describe it, that one of the Florida pieces wasn't going to get signed. We're ready to invest deeply in Aaron Ekblad on defense.
But they did.
Obviously, that wasn't the case. What about Brad Marchand on the wing? If you look at that second line in Detroit, you can envision why they need a left winger there. So lots of money and lots of creativity from Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wings. So I think there'll be a player today.
Current cap space, -2 million.
The cap is going to $95.5 million. There are a number of teams that are far from showing distance.
They gave Tarasov a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and San Jose Sharks are the one that jump out.
Matthew Tkachuk is injured?
Dial it up. They're about 19 million plus.
That's a new
the
one.
Sharks are, as of this moment, of the salary cap floor. And so,
Okay,
there's a couple
so
things they can do. They're certainly
Nico
going to go
Sturm
and get some free agents today.
is a free
spend some money that
agent.
way, but perhaps
Mackie Samoskevich is a free agent.
Looking to shed a contract or something of that manner to get
Jacob
there.
Beckman. Well, Nate Schmidt is still free agent. And Vita Fenech.
Burst of contracts.
Oh, it looks like
at noon.
Tarasov's going to be
And it's
the
worth
new
pointing out
backup.
that
So
standard player
Vitek
contracts in
Fenechek
the
is
NHL are
gone.
Complicated.
Wheeler's completing his 10th season here with the Jets, and last season was essentially a point-per-game player. Such a big part of this number one.
Oh, Velarde's a
play
free agent as
also
well?
some offseason priorities for Kevin Cheveldayoff. You speak of scoring, Kyle Connor, as of today, is eligible to sign a long-term extension, and his 41 goals were tied for 7th in the NHL. 97 points were 7th in scoring across the league.
Taves
as well.
has less
Connor
money than
and
Adam
an extension with
Lowry.
The Jets will be a priority. Jonathan Taves about his return as a 37-year-old to the National Hockey League.
Can't wait to see him back in action, and he'll fit very nicely into a Winnipeg jersey. That's Glenn Schiller in
Yeah, it's going to be weird to see Jonathan Taves and with another team.
We have a goalie extension we'll get to in just a second with Farhan. But look, after what was a
Wait, a
4-2
goalie
dramatic,
extension?
very
Who
disappointing
did it
season in
extend
Vancouver, the
and
Pride
where?
goes back to the ice and
Yeah, James, that might be the biggest move they make. I don't see them being active at all, and they have $20 million in cap space. But as
No, the
we've talked
biggest
about a
move
bunch,
they did
this is a
was
team that's
grossly
turning over its
overpaying
roster to
Kevin
young players.
Ball.
So I can see them going in the backup.
Salim Valji, if something indeed does
Oh,
happen.
Zari's
in
a free
Calgary as the
agent.
day Go on. As we mentioned off the top, it's been the year of the rat. What's fancy,
The rat.
fancy virtual
The
reality.
year of the
stuff
rat,
going on here.
especially
It wasn't
with
just
the
a
Rat
for Brad
King.
Marchand. It was
There we
the
go.
Panthers. But as a whole, look at where Marchand has done. 21 goals with Boston. He wins the Four Nations, traded to Florida, Stanley Cup champion, re-signs with Florida.
To a gross extension, like he is now the oldest man in the NHL to get a long-term contract.
What have become, I guess, for
beating
everybody
Alex
else who's not a Panthers fan
Ovechkin.
or a Vegas fan, two of the villains of the NHL, the Panthers and Vegas. For more on that, Brian Hayes and his panel.
All right, thank you, James. And here with our friend Emily Kaplan from ESPN, Carlo Koliakovo. You're right, it is Canada Day, but we're going to talk about two teams that couldn't be further
Canada
away from the
Day.
Canadian border.
Today is
That's the
also
Florida
Bobby
Panthers
Bonilla
and the
Day.
Vegas Golden Knights, the two most aggressive teams in the league. You just mentioned Florida, right? They win a Stanley Cup, they bring back Marchand, they bring back Ekblad, they bring back Sam Bennett. Look at Vegas. Big news yesterday. Alex Pietrangelo announces he likely won't play again, which is significant. That's a big
What?
piece. They waited about 5 minutes to fulfill the cap hit and the talent. They go out and get Mitch Marner. So if you're every other team in the league, Emily, you're looking at Vegas, you're looking at Florida. Is that the blueprint, that aggressiveness that you need to apply if you want to catch up?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's just a state tax
Wait,
advantage. I don't think it's just
Pietrangelo
being able
might
to exploit
retire?
the IR loophole. I don't think it's just
For
a
health
ruthless commitment to winning,
reasons.
the culture that they built, the amenities the players are offered off the ice, the ability to go and walk.
For bilateral femur reconstruction.
It's all of those things, and I think there's another thing.
He's
that
only
these two teams do
35.
that nobody talks enough about.
That's a big loss
Luke here, but
for
I remember
Vegas.
talking to Brad Marchand shortly after he got
Vegas year after year, they sign guys to long-term extension. If they don't like the way they work out, they move on. That's what separates these two teams from everybody else.
Yeah, the aggressiveness is so significant, right? You want your players to be comfortable when they're there away from the rink, but when they're on the ice, they better be ready to perform because that's a huge part of the mentality. You're right.
100%.
All the other things count for something, maybe count for a lot, but the idea that the mantra from top down is you better win. You better help us win. If you don't, you
finding
won't be
somebody
here
else.
for long. James?
All right, thank you, gang. Let's look at the current Stanley Cup.
Unless you're the New York Rangers, it's like if you do so much for the team, you're out. If you make us suck, we're gonna keep you here long
The
term.
division thing we saw.
Jack Rathbone, and Ryan Johnson for the Sabres. Oh, Sam Lafferty traded to the Blackhawks. Oh, it's Lafferty's going back to the Blackhawks from Buffalo. Okay. I would stay and watch the beginning of the free agents, But unfortunately, I gotta go. I'm having lunch at Dallas Barbecue in Forest Hills with my mom. I'm supposed to meet her at 12:30, so I gotta leave like now. So I'm gonna miss the beginning. So, but when I get home, I'll definitely start recording again, and I'm definitely gonna see a lot more sign-ins from there. So. But seriously, Rangers, please don't do anything stupid. Please extend Will Cooley, and get rid of Keandre Miller for Gavrikov. I'll be back.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I'm back after having dinner at Dallas Barbecue. It was really good. So I just got home. Let's see the chaos that I've missed. Oh, Alex Belzile is going back to the Canadiens. So he's gone. Scott Perunovich is going to Utah. Owen Sillinger got a 1-year extension. Ian Mitchell to the Red Wings. Ollie Lykso. Elaine Peterson. Oh, Brandon Tanev, a 3-year deal with the Utah Mammoth. I thought he was going to stay in Winnipeg. Interesting. Sammy Blais is back. 1 year with the Canadiens. I thought he was done. Ethan Bear with the Islanders. Nick Bukestad, a 2-year deal with the Blues. David Riddick is going to the Islanders. Even though they already have Sorokin and Varlamov, you realize Riddick is going to play in the minors now. Wait, but I just looked up and now it says David Riddick is a Ranger. I don't know what. Oh, Ryan Lindgren. A 4-year deal with the Seattle Kraken, so he's going to be joining Kaapo Kakko, assuming Kakko gets extended there. Well, Yamamoto is going to the Mammoths. Dennis Gilbert, Noah Juleson, Kaapo Kakkonen of 1 year in Montreal. What? Tanner Jeannot for 5 years? Jeez, Boston is desperate. Looks like they want to sign everyone long term. There's Nick Cousins, we knew about that. Ooh, Colin White is going to the Sharks. Michael Pezzetta, 2 years with the Leafs. Connor Brown going to the Devils for 4 years. Oh, he can definitely help out their depth. Joe Armia is going 2 years for the Canes. Rangers. There's a Rangers. Is it Will Cooley? Please, let's see who we do. Who did the Rangers get? Who did the Rangers just sign? Yes! Gavrikov for 7 years, $7 million. Vladislav Gavrikov is a Ranger. My God. Seriously, if we're bringing in Gavrikov, then Keandre Miller or Carson Soucy has got to go. Especially since we have Vakanainen in there. Jake Akan, TJ Tynan, Gage Conclaves for 2 years to the Lightning. Martin Veravori for $6 million for 7 years with the Capitals. Interesting. Oh, Dan Vladar is going to the Flyers. Yeah, for $3 million, 2 years. Yeah, the Flyers definitely need goaltending. Corey Perry's going to the Canes. So this likely means that the Canes are going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Question is, can they beat Edmonton in the playoffs? Major sign-in. What else? Brock Boeser's coming back. 7 years, $7 million with the Canucks. So Vancouver got their guy back. Nice. William Eklund, 3 years, $5 million. Amir Mitrikov, Parker Kelly, 4 years for Parker Kelly? Interesting. Christian Dvorak is going to the Flyers for a year, $5 million. And that's pretty much it for now in free agency. What about... Oh, there's more. Nate Klarman, Jacob Bernard Docker is going to the Red Wings. Christian Jaros for the Blue Jackets. What about trades? Have there been any trades yet? Nope, it's just the same. Wait, Keandre Miller? Oh, Keandre Miller's going to... Oh my God. Keandre Miller might be going to Carolina. The question is, who we're going to get in return? I mean... So at least we made up for getting rid of Zach Jones by getting rid of Keandre Miller. It's like you have to save room for Gavrikov.
Logan Thompson. Now that is the case, now that you've named these
Oh,
three
Team
guys,
Canada. Binnington,
Marleau,
and Thompson.
All of them exceeded your personal expectations. Is goaltending now no longer Canada's Achilles heel going to the Olympic Games?
It doesn't have to be a focal point.
I mean, it hasn't been an Achilles heel in the Four
Nations.
Nations.
In overtime, so you can't.
Even if the U.S. had better goaltending, Canada beat us.
Net between the pipes with
and other countries, I think Canada is a little behind, but at the same time,
Glenn
I think that Binnington
Gulutzan, head coach for the Stars.
Could be a good support. And look, Aiden Hill, unfortunately, we're going to take you out. We'll put Logan Thompson in.
That name sounds familiar.
If we had
Who
picked
is that?
in February last year, Logan.
Oh, he was a coach for the Stars earlier ago, and then
Sam
with the
Montembeault had a really big
Flames.
year in Montreal. He's really progressed under my guy Marty St. Louis, and of course Logan Thompson. He too has been a part of a Stanley Cup winning team. He had a massive season in Washington, and I should
If
say
we can
this,
get rid of
he was
Keandre
second in
Miller, that would be
save
great.
percentage
That
in
way
the
we'll
playoffs.
have.
Only to who? Sergei Bobrovsky.
That way, our left defenders would be Gavrikov, Susi maybe, and Vakanainen. Though I wish Jones was part of the equation.
Now, as it stands right now, who's your number one going to the Olympic Games for Canada?
Well, it's Jordan Binnington. I mean, that's my guy. He ended up doing it last year for the Four Nations face-off. Why would he not do it again?
Yeah, exactly.
And look, it could change because
Ooh,
we've
Nate
seen
Schmidt
Derby,
just
the
signed a
number 1
three-year
come
deal
in,
for
take
the Utah
over.
Man.
It could change, but I'm
Wow,
going Binnington. The other two are close
former
behind him.
Panthers
And at
are
any
going to
moment,
Utah.
I'm willing to switch if it's not going the right way.
Weeksy?
I'm going Jordan Winnington.
Winnington.
All right, going to the Four Nations Cup. Quick answer. You got 5 seconds.
The question
or less.
is, what's going on with Will
Overwhelming favorite
Cooley?
goaltending was Team USA.
All the best, but you have 8 quality names on
I
it.
feel like Gavrikov could be the new defensive partner for Adam
when it comes to the
Fox.
Four Nations face-off. We're running it back, right?
I mean,
Travis Sanheim is
with
out.
that term and
Mackenzie
money,
Weegar is
it makes
in, but
perfect sense.
Beyond that, it's effectively the same roster.
I
At
think
least
he
when
was
it
the
comes to
second pair
defense.
for the
Why do we feel
Canes.
that that's the right play for Canada, Frank?
I think this is a mobile cast that can do it.
Surprised
And you look at,
no news on
even down
Kaku
this list, I
yet.
thought that in the
Imagine
Four
if
Nations, he
Kaku
did move
decides to
that
come
puck up
back to the
well. His first pass was
Rangers.
very efficient.
That would
So
be
now
a
when you're looking
miracle.
at 8, now all of a sudden you can.
Tom Wilson.
Yeah,
And I'm not
number
saying
two
at the Olympics we could have a
signing
repeat of what
Vladislav
happened at the Four Nations and
Gavrikov
have 3
with
fights.
the New York
But if there is,
Rangers.
he
Well,
might be
Ehlers still hasn't
capable
been
of being
signed
involved
yet.
in all 3 and handling who's ever on the other side. All
In a little bit, they played together.
Oh,
before.
James
Who
Van
works with who?
Riemsdyk
That
is
does
going to the
factor in how
Red
you set this up.
Wings.
In saying that, James, John Cooper, it was like he made assessments after the first period. What was working, who was going. So just because there was chemistry or you played with a guy, after the first period, all bets were off with that guy.
Also,
he's going to find who was going.
Yeah.
Seriously, you
Nick
gotta
Suzuki
get
making his
Tanner
team. I know he
Janot
didn't
at
play in the Four
5-year deal.
Nations. I know he hasn't played a lot internationally for Canada, hasn't played in the World Championships. He is such a good player.
Like, how was
He
Tanner
is such a
Janot
good
in LA?
third-line centerman. And Doesn't matter if he doesn't have experience playing for Canada at the men's level. He's going to be on this team.
Is there somebody, the guys we're talking about, Bouchard left off the team? Any guys you really struggled with?
Well, I mean, Anthony Cirelli. I think you have Bedard and Celebrini.
Yeah.
You know, could one of those two guys take a big step? Owen and I chewed on this for a really long time together. We really grinded on our picks to see who might make it on those bubble spots.
Yeah, Reddick's going to the
Marchand, can you
Islanders.
expect him?
So Wikipedia made a mistake and said that Reddick is a Ranger.
I didn't do it.
This, I think, Owen and I talked about this quite a bit as well.
I mean, since Keandre Miller might get traded, can you qualify Jones
I thought he
again?
was a guy that was in and out of the lineup.
He is that good.
Wait a second, though.
Yaroslav Gavrikov signs a 7 years deal worth $7 million per year with Rangers.
He wasn't even on the way.
Jimmy, look at
Our defense has gotten better from that move alone.
Take a look at it, Craig.
Terrible in the playoffs. Mackenzie Weegar's
Yeah, there we
on
go.
my team.
David Reddick
I'll
signed a
keep
one-year
Harley in there
contract with
'cause he was on the team
Islanders.
last year.
Harley was good when he played, though.
It's a lapse. It's a loss of focus. And I think those
Oh,
guys
the
that are
Kraken
guys there
gave
a little more
Kako a
trustworthy,
qualifying
and Evan Bouchard's
offer.
not knocking
Okay.
Cale Makar off your first power play unit. And either Josh Morrissey or Shea Theodore's playing your second unit, and you have a left-handed shot, so a couple different looks.
Boom. Not boom. Like if you're talking about like the games being critical, what do you think 2 marches to the Stanley
Ooh, Jeff
Cup
Petrie
finals are?
signed a
Not
one-year
critical,
deal with the
everything
Panthers,
overtimes, and this guy's
so
on
he's
the ice
replacing
contributing?
Schmidt.
Connor McDavid tells the coach,
It's time to move on.
Oh, Nick Perbix is going to the Predators.
Panel has had more than.
Listen, Sam Reinhart's playing on my second line with Nathan McKinnon, not Travis Konecny, who's off the team. I know Mike loves him and everything. Konechny's off the team. And I'm moving Marchand up. Hagel and Sam Bennett and Tom Wilson can be my muscle line, my energy, my heavy line. And Macklin Celebrini's on my team. That's who I'm putting on, and I'm taking Konechny out.
That's a
okay.
How you put Celebrini on there?
He's my
over
extra
Konechny?
forward. I get 14 guys.
But you want to connect these more versatile and a greater
He
offensive
played 2
creator.
games in the Four Nations, and Macklin Celebrini had better offense this year than Travis
No, he
Konechny.
didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Right there.
Konechny had 75 points.
He was Macklin Celebrini was right there.
Right. But you connect.
I want
Celebrini's
the
not going to
young
help you
guy.
penalty killing.
I want it.
You're not going to want Celebrini on the ice when you need it protecting
Why
the
do you
lead
say
or a
that?
close
I don't
game.
want a young guy, you're saying. You're only penalizing Macklin Celebrini because he's 19 years old.
No.
And I saw it in 06 when they
It's
named
not just a
Sidney Crosby.
19-year-old.
Don't
He's a
make the same
19-year-old
mistake by not
first
naming Macklin
overall
Celebrini.
pick.
I'm well aware Taves and Doughty were really good in 2010 when they were young players. I'm well aware of that. I'm just saying at this point in connecting what he brings offensively, he can do more
Cody
things than Celebrini
Ceci
now
four
already.
by,
I disagree.
Cody Ceci for the 4x4 to the Kings.
3, Jimmy.
See, Cody Ceci 4x4. Oh, Brian Dumoulin is going to the Canes. 3 years, 4.4 million. 2 years for Nick Perbix. Ryan Fantel. Danilo Tarasov. We knew he got extended. Jeff Petrie. Under $1 million. Nice. 1 year for James Van Riemsdyk, $1 million. Nate Schmidt, 3x3. And pretty much it for now. What about trades? Okay. Nothing on the trade front yet. Extension with the RFA. Oh, not only is it going to be a trade, but it's a trade and sign. But my deal would be Miller for Jack Drury. Dumping a still young and developing Keandre in favor of overpaying a 29-year-old Gavrikov is But Miller sucks, though. Doesn't matter, he's young. He sucked this season. He's like, he had his worst season of his career. He's terrible offense and defensively. It makes sense to get rid of Keandre Miller. Gavrikov, on the other hand, yeah, he's older than Keandre Miller, but Gavrikov is decent on offensively, but defensively, he's really good. See, this past season, Gavrikov got 30 points, and he's a plus 26. He can definitely score. And let's look at Keandre Miller. 27 points, which is decent, but his plus minus 0. And for a long time, Miller was in the minus. Like, you're mad that we got a young defenseman that sucks for a guy that not only scores 30 points, but is almost a plus 30. Like, it's like if that's an option, you deal with it. I'm happy to have Gavrikov with us. He should definitely be a good pair with Fox. Oh, Anton Forsberg, 2 years with the Canes. You'll definitely help out with Darcy Kemper there.
Yeah, so Nate Schmidt, they just didn't have cap room in Florida, the Cup champions, to keep Nate Schmidt. They loved him, but they weren't going to compete with this. $3.5 million a year times
especially
3 years for
since
Nate
they
Schmidt
paid
with the Utah
Marchand
Mammoth.
6
And the
years,
interesting thing is,
$5 million.
Nate Schmidt leaves, and his replacement is Jeff Petrie on a league minimum contract. Plus bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, they got Petrie in return, so that's good news for
Vancouver,
them.
signs a cheap deal in Florida, wins a cup, and then gets $3.5 million a year in Toronto a year ago. Nate Schmidt goes for a cheap deal last year to Florida, wins a cup, gets $3.5 million. I'm not saying Jeff Petrie's going to get $3.5 million in a year, but
I mean, that depends on how if the Florida Panthers win another cup. It depends on how he does.
Being filled here by these teams, especially when you look at the depth defensemen. You know, I go back to Ken Holland and the Los Angeles Kings.
Victor
Again, earlier we
Arvidsson
talked
for a
about
fifth-round
the Bowen
pick.
Byram situation, how that's developed.
I think you have some news. Jonathan Drouin is a New York Islander, signs a 2-year deal.
What?
Still working on the money on that one.
The
But,
Islanders.
Bobby Mack says $4 million for Jonathan Drouin on a 2-year deal with the Islanders.
All right.
Jonathan Drouin is an Islander.
My mic's not working, but my mic is on.
Oh, why do you have to go to the island of Drouin? Why couldn't you stay in Colorado?
I'm on your train. I'm out.
And then they go out and they get Brian Dumoulin. So what are the Los Angeles Kings doing? They're trying to spend that money on defensemen that are bigger and a little more robust.
But they end up losing
if you look at who they
Gavrikov
had
in the
last year, they had
process.
Jordan Spence, a small right hand.
All right, Frankie, on our top 45 list, we had 2 40-year-olds. We saw Corey Perry sign with LA. Speaking of LA, that leaves us with Brent Burns. Now, at a young 40, how much do you think he's got left in the tank?
He's got to have a little bit left in the tank. Like, this is the NHL's Iron Man, 925 consecutive games now for Brent Burns, and still
925
plays a
consecutive
decent
games.
amount of minutes
So
per
Burns
game.
is on
he's
his
not the
way
Brent
to
Burns
beating
that's
Phil
flying up and
Kessel.
down the ice the way he used to be, but still someone who can give you a little bit of offense from the back end, and one of those guys that, you know, has a little versatility to his game. He is clearly not going to make the same $8 million that he has been making, and you're talking about a shorter-term deal.
I mean, that
with
was a long
reasonable
time ago.
AAV, but, you know, for a
When he
team
was
that is
a better
looking for
player back
solid,
then.
reliable depth option.
Maybe Connor McDavid. Probably not.
Oh, the only question is, what number is Gavrikov got to wear of us? He can't wear 84.
We're positive because of all
I mean,
the
like, unless he
contributions
gives
on
it
the
up,
ice.
he can't
The
wear
negative stuff would
84
come
because that is
playoff
taken
time
by
when they
Adam
didn't have success, and he was one of those guys
who
you'd
is
look
coming
to
back,
help get the team
thankfully.
over the hump. And him.
Matthews is back. Nylander's back. They signed John Tavares. You couldn't bring Mitch Marner back and sell it to your fans that anything's going to be different
on the
in the
bright
future.
side for the Leafs, at least they have Matthew
We like our
Nyes.
players. We think
A lot more signings.
going to
It's over
settle
40
in,
now.
not having an elite be goals or plays to play on the right side of the puck. It might be William Nylander. He might not get 45 goals next year, but he might be a different player.
Whoa,
He's gonna
it
have
went
to
from
assume
41 to
a little bit
47.
more of a leadership role in.
Are we convinced he'll be that comfortable immediately? Like, is it guaranteed to work with Marner just stepping into Vegas?
it's going to come down to one situation, and that's very simple. We know he's going to contribute in the regular season. He plays so
But the
much, and he's such a
playoffs.
talented player that he has no choice almost but to have success. He's going to be put in situations, whether it be on the power play.
James?
Well, gentlemen, I just, first of all, Overdrive, we all appreciate and love you. You guys have been, the show is one of the backbones of our network, and you guys had a fantastic year. Brian Hayes nominated for a Canadian Screen Award.
Awesome.
Should have won.
He was very mad, too, that you won. He was very mad.
Who won that award?
Some overrated putts. Jamie McLennan, who worked Overdrive every day and somehow did about 100 games. I think he watched every second of every NHL game this year.
I tried to.
And O-Dog, among his numerous accomplishments, O-Dog, you may have heard on Overdrive because they talked about it for a week straight, shot a 64 at the site of the Canadian Open. 64. Now, in honor of that, we produced these 64 hats for the entire.
Wow.
You guys backed him.
I'd love to wear it. Can I put
You
it
guys
on?
backed him. Yeah, of course. Put it on.
I was told it was 62.
No, 64.
No, 64, man, all day.
All right.
Look at that. I feel like I just got drafted.
You guys supported him.
Yeah, and the 2064 NHL draft.
Extra thing added to my 64 hat. Just a little.
It's such a joke. It was actually 62, and you don't even think it was 64.
The 64 and 64 asterisk hats will be available online at tsn.ca. Thank you, Overdrive, for a great season. Probably 69 or so, says 70. Maybe
Nice.
71, something like that. Where are we going? The frenzy continues here on TSN. There's let's get a quick replay of the hat toss. Look at, he's an angry man. He needs a summer break.
Okay, see, Matt Blumo, Jack Stunica is going to the Panthers. Jonathan Drouin, $4 million for 2 years with the Islanders. Why must the Islanders continue to get better? Just why? Okay, there's still nothing on the trade front. Sounds like Miller trade return will center on draft pick compensation. Oh, the Hurricanes got 2 first-round picks. One of them. I mean, whatever return we get is fine. I mean, it's like, it's like we could trade Keandre Miller for future considerations, or a bag of peanuts, and I'd be totally fine with that. So, what direction? I mean, so far, being the best free agent D-man on the board. Rangers are close to acquiring Brad Richards. Nah, he's already retired. I mean, he's not doing a bad job so far in free agency thus far. I mean, Gavrikov is a really good deal. Like, he is going to be good. Just, I know it. It's like, Gavrikov is definitely way better than Keandre Miller. And if Miller goes to the Hurricanes, hope they enjoy his declining abilities. Yeah, I'm shocked that no one's got signed Ehlers yet.
If you're just coming in from outside, enjoying your Canada Day, let's update you with what's going on in the latest
Or Bobby
from Gordon Miller
Bonilla Day.
and the Insiders.
They feel pretty good at center ice, provided that Elias Pettersson comes back stronger. He's certainly expected to be motivated. The belief is that he will be that as their number one. Filipino, this is great news for Canucks fans. He's healthy. He's healthy.
Good.
So if he can be their number 2,
I mean, he is going to be number
some
2.
of the pressure off, but that's not to say
That's what I knew from the beginning. That's why we got JT Miller by giving up Heedle.
Shopping in free agency.
Started the day
The only question now is, will Heedle stay healthy? Can he make it? Can he make it this season without getting a concussion?
Goal-scoring winger from the Winnipeg Jets.
What's it going to be like in early September?
Yeah, life is not good if you don't get a contract today, unless you're someone like Nick Ehlers, where obviously he's just taking his own time. But for most players that walk away from today without a contract,
it's like when it's like the NHL, it's like the draft when you expected to go in the first round and then never get chosen in the first round.
You know, the other thing might
It's like
be
the
worth
worst
talking
day
about a little
ever.
bit. This is bigger
Thinking
picture,
when
not anything
am I gonna get chosen? Am I ever gonna get chosen?
Dramatically from where it was.
Noah Dobson, I guess, is the big move. Do you like what Montreal's done
Yeah,
so far?
definitely.
James, I don't like what the Montreal Canadiens have been doing. I love what the Montreal Canadiens have been doing because I absolutely love what Montreal's done so far.
You know what?
Yeah, Montreal's looking to be
but there still
better.
is an element of patience.
That 16th and 17th was pivotal, but the
Oh,
cupboards
2
were full,
more
so now they can do
signings.
that, right? So they're.
I wonder how high Montreal is on David Reinbacher and where he's coming.
Yeah.
Must be pretty high if they trade him in.
I mean, really high. They
Be a
drafted him
factor in this
5th
conversation
overall.
next year for the defense playing. And
Maybe it's a sign of the times, you know, that everybody understands the modern player, that it's just a business. That I think in the old days, maybe once they were going to, you know, lowballing you and we're going to trade you, that you'd never come back there. And Brock Besser just says, water under the bridge and resigns.
when you get the contract you want, because I think it wasn't even about the money. I
Yeah,
imagine the
Vancouver
earlier
will be a
conversations
total
were, Brock, we
fool.
like
The
you.
lowball
We're going to give you
Bowser.
5 years. Sheloff didn't just win the Conn Smythe, the minors. He needs waivers to go to the. I just don't know what's
Oh,
going on
Arthur
in the net there. And what
Sheloff's
is
got
it,
the Conn
13 million
Smythe
after
for the
the
Calder
year
Cup.
coming up? So
Doesn't it tell you like
Really?
they're not quite certain? These guys need to find a way to produce more offense than what they did last year. That's the single biggest reason why they missed the playoffs not last year. Not that goaltending wasn't great, not that the blue line wasn't great. They just have to score more and create more quality chances.
You can bring
Yeah,
back Besser.
especially with Pedersen
You could try to bring back
being
Suter.
invisible.
If the Vancouver Canucks don't get the real Elias Pettersson back,
Exactly.
I don't think any of the stuff that we're talking
It's going to be
matters.
one of the biggest stories in the NHL next year.
It could be the biggest addition for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about
Numbers for Tanner Pearson.
Oh, Tanner
on a
Pearson.
one-year, $1
What's
million
going to the Jets?
deal. And most Jets fans today watching to find out where Nikolai Ehlers will
Yeah,
end up.
what's
Bob
going
was
on
saying
with
earlier,
Ehlers? Why hasn't
good
anyone
chance
got
that it doesn't
Ehlers
end up
yet?
being
He's the
real.
biggest UFA, and nobody signed him yet.
But likely not to happen.
Probably not, but it's.
We all want Jonathan Toews to come back and thrive, but being out of the league for a couple of years, 37 years
If he's
old.
healthy, I mean, Gabe Landeskog missed 2 years. He came back and looked pretty good on a worse physical injury. Toews maybe went through more, but if he's all the way back or something close to being back, he should be able to get closer to who he actually is if he's able to get over all he's been through.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that 22-23 season I've got here, like 15 goals and 16 assists. And so, you know, take a season.
He was sick then, too, though.
He was, that's what I mean. He was sick, so he's still going to produce, and he's got the IQ, right? And that's something that doesn't leave you. It's more about the legs and getting up to the pace of
Yeah, but
game.
it's good to have
Excellent in the
Jonathan
dot, right?
Toews
So
with the
can he come
team.
in there and take key face-offs? I just think the big thing for
Massive
Oh,
punching
Morgan
team. Exactly.
Barron's a
That's
free
somewhere between
agent.
12 to $15 million on the
And
books. So
Velarde.
even
No
if
one
you
signed
could go
those
out
yet.
today and spend all kinds of money, why leave yourself vulnerable to an
Oh,
offer
come
sheet
on,
when
it's
you
less
know,
than a
based on
million.
what we saw last year with the Edmonton Oilers?
It's hard to get the highest end guys to get to Winnipeg, but Sandberg's a high end guy. He's been there. Can you extend him for 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it might be? That's where the money's got to go.
6 or
and then you
7
work out
years
the rest
for
as
a
you go along.
third
And you know
pair
what else? Kevin
defenseman.
Cheveldayoff has a really good.
Just over an hour and a half ahead for you. I believe we have a game show coming up. It's one of the staples for us when we do these shows and when things get a little bit dry. Also want you all to stick around if you can at the end of the show tonight, just before 5 o'clock Eastern time. I'm not going to say why, but you'll want to stick around.
Oh, so it sounds like this ends at 5. Okay, Nick Abruzzi going to the light. Ooh, Radek Faksa is coming back to Dallas. 3 years. Guess they didn't want to lose him, and now they got him back. Good. Don Leonard, Tanner Pearson, Cole Koepke, Ronnie Attard. That's pretty much it on the free agency front. What about the trade? Still nothing on trades. They're still talking about the trade of Keandre Miller, but nothing's been finalized.
Well, Megan, the Mitch Marner era in Toronto is over, but you can kind of see why Vegas was an attractive option for him. Just 2 seasons removed from winning the Cup, and now they're rolling out a new big three up front. Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, and Mark Stone, all 200-foot players, good all over the ice and consistently productive, especially when Stone is healthy.
Yeah,
Do you
big
like this
three.
fit for Marner and Ford?
It's been a little dry the last little while here on the Free Agent Frenzy. We don't lie to our viewers. We know you're smart. We know what's going on. So that's why we brought back, by popular demand, or just by the idea that we've pretty much run out of ideas.
We built the board.
Plinko. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on this
Plinko.
Plinko board. I think we used it during Trade Center, maybe debuted it during the Free Agent Frenzy next year.
Last year?
Yeah.
It's our third
Next
time
year would be
through,
seeing
yeah.
into the future. We ripped this off. The Price is Right. They haven't sued us yet, so we're going to continue along. So here's the deal. Marty and MJ are contestants for Plinko. I'm going to drop the Plinko chip, and whatever lands, I'm going to
is
ask
that
a question.
Martin
They have to make
H's?
the argument for whatever lands, and then the other guy will make the counter argument. As you can see, Sid and McDavid. So my question is this. Captain Canada for the Olympics in 2026. Who should be captain? Crosby once again, perhaps the obvious answer. Or is it time to pass the torch to McDavid? I'm going to climb the Tower of Death
Tower of Death.
and drop the Plinko chip and McDavid, make the case.
McDavid, Captain Canada, makes a ton
So
of sense.
if
It's
it
actually a
landed
pretty
on
easy
the
case to
Canadian
make. Marner's the best
flag,
player in the world.
it's gonna cause
McDavid's
chaos.
the best player in the world. Who scored the overtime winner last time Canada played
Connor
best of
McDavid.
best?
Plinko question number 2. On the heels of Canadians winning the playoff MVP in both the NHL and the NBA, whose playoff run was more impactful? Conn Smythe winner Sam Bennett or NBA Finals MVP, fresh new contract, $285 million for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Gino Reda, The legend is going to come in and drop. He has the honor. They're up top. They're up top. Gino will drop the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Sam Bennett Plinko.
Oh, there it is.
It's there.
All right. You ready, boys?
Yes. Make the
dealer's choice.
Wild card. You get to go.
You know what? I'm a hockey guy, so I'm going to go with Sam Bennett. Look, he had 15 goals in the playoffs,
Yes.
4 more than the next closest, which was 11. He was the Conn Smythe. He was second in hits. He did everything for his team, played in all situations. And look, maybe it was unexpected, right? Because we all thought Draisaitl, McDavid, Tkachuk, Bobrovsky, Barkov, Reinhardt, whatever. Sam Bennett was a guy, unbelievable beard, probably the best beard of the playoffs. I think for that alone, he is my MVP.
I appreciate what you're trying to do here, Marty. But this is so easy. It's the Shea just won the regular season MVP.
Yeah.
The conference final MVP. The finals MVP. They won the championship. He just completed the most successful basketball season of any Canadian ever. And oh yeah, I just signed a near $300 million contract. Well, Sam Bennett was great. Right.
Yeah.
What SGA just did was historic.
It's good that they mention him. It's clear that they know what a pro wants, what a pro needs. Whatever makes him happy, sets him free.
Shea doesn't have his championship.
If Stuart Skinner would have stopped more pucks, then perhaps Connor McDavid would have
Exactly. What a pro wants, what a pro needs. Whatever makes me happy sets me free, and I'm thanking you for knowing exactly. Seriously, where's the full version of that song for their championship parade?
You might know that we have a question involving Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk, and this is one of those ones that's never going to happen. But if Team Canada could add one American,
it's like, why hasn't the Oklahoma City Thunder do a full version of what a pro wants?
Gino, is Gino still up there?
Craig's behind you.
Craig Button, ladies and gentlemen, to drop the last Plinko chip there. All right. Does a great job. Does a great job.
Here we go.
Team Canada, they do a great job.
They were line mates with the National Team Development Program, Matthews and Tkachuk.
Just drop the Plinko chip. No, we have no time for soliloquies.
Well, Bo says that we got to get a little more time in here, so here we go.
Craig Button's on his way to Italy to watch Bruce Springsteen as soon as the show's done. It's Austin Matthews.
Well,
Matthews
and
Matthews.
Matthews, obviously, 401.
Oh, Matt Murray. Wow, Matt Murray is going to the Kraken. Guess he could. And then Brandon Bussey is going to the Panthers. I thought he was going to stay with Boston. Why on earth are we trading Miller to the Canes? Because Miller sucks. That's why. And we got Gavrikov. Gavrikov signed a team friendly 7-7 years though. No one want to sign in New York because of the way they treat their players. If that was the case, all of our free agents would be gone. I mean, Gavrikov wants to be here. And he's here.
Oh, I got a new suit. You like my suit? It's kind of like rust, but also salmon. They don't even have a name for this color. You should get the same suit, and we can wear them together on the quiz. I'll get it monogrammed. We could put like O and Jimmy on the side, and O and Jimmy on the side of your suit. We'll have the same suits.
Maybe ask Dregs.
It's a good suit.
So this is my office, shrine, whatever. You dressed up as the Tooth Fairy for the quiz. That's not actually me. Photoshop. See, I put my face there. I didn't actually play for the Leafs. Great goal, James. Thanks, oh. Best friend award. I just got to get him to sign it. I've heard that some people call us O-Duff, like O-Dog and Duffy. O-Duff. We think it's cute.
We do not think it's cute. There is no we.
Duthie, Gallagher, O-Dog, Kadri, the Lincoln Navigator Cup. Coketown Woods, today, only on TSN.
CJ, there's some really nice stories that develop around this time of the year, and people get sort of a second chance, a third chance. Matt Murray signs a contract today.
Yeah, he gets a contract with the Seattle Kraken, and I think maybe a path, perhaps some more NHL minutes, certainly than he found last year in Toronto. And recall, he was coming off significant hip surgery 2 years prior, missed most of that season, got back in the swing of things with the Marlies and a little bit with the Leafs last year, and he gets a 1-year, $1 million deal in Seattle. He's behind Joey Decord and Philip Grubauer as well. But, you know, we'll see what happens. You can't predict injuries or things like that. But certainly, I think it's a spot where he feels he's going to have a chance.
Well, it's not just injuries, but also the fact Murray did not do well.
Another National Hockey League game.
You know, this time of year, in certain situations, you're not always trying to hit that home run or that grand slam, right? You've got to hit a single or a double on occasion. And they feel
the
like
Rangers
they've done
definitely
that
got a
with some
home
depth
run
pieces
with
up
Vladislav
front. Tanner
Gavrikov.
Pearson, Cole Koepke, both for
Jack Roslovic playing on the Carolina Hurricanes. He was up and down the lineup. He was on the fourth line. He was on the first line. They were playing him
Even
with
though
Mikko
he scored
Rantanen.
20
What he
goals
was
and
a really
39
good
points.
rush offense forward.
I'm going to pick the Washington Capitals. Like, this is a team that's entering the last year of Alex Ovechkin and John Carlson's contract. We saw them
John
make the playoffs
Carlson
last
as
year and
well.
look really great under Spencer Carter.
Whoa, Alex Lyon. 2 years with the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, the Sabres definitely need goaltending there. Still nothing on trades. Still nothing on Keandre Miller yet.
I don't know how we got to those totals last year. Those are baffling numbers, but a lot of minor signings on this day. But the truth is, Mitch Marner and Bill Zito killed the free agent frenzy. They crushed us, and obviously neither fault of their own. They both did what they had to do. But when you lose that guy, the biggest name, and you lose all the Florida Panthers, well, then we're stuck with what we have so far. No offense to any of the players who have signed. We came up with a little effect to symbolize the day for us here today on the free agent frenzy.
Tumbleweeds.
There's a little tumbleweeds.
Get some tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds blowing through. We could have just kept that going throughout the day.
Well, not really for the Rangers. We got Gavrikov, which woke him up.
To make it happen.
And
For the Leafs.
And there's the Marner number 93 already for sale in the Vegas
93,
Golden Knights
yeah.
store.
Right back to 93. I saw the London Knights were noting that. But, you know, obviously it's been a good few days, I think, overall for the Leafs. Tough to process the whole Marner thing, but they've had some time. But between Tavares, Nyes, trading for Maselli, I think that they're going to take their time to see if the trade market maybe is where they find some.
Surprised they didn't get number 16.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Is anyone
Victor
wearing number
Robertson to a
16
trade.
in
Corey Perry
Vegas?
signs in L.A. They've had Connor Brown go to New Jersey.
Yeah.
How do they fill those?
Well, they're trying to create space. There's no doubt about that. And I think that Stan Bowman, to this point, has done a nice job of doing that. We also know what their wants are, and their wants.
I would agree with you that Mitch is, you know, he's going to go down as one of the greats, right? The statistics prove it.
At least in the regular season, the playoffs, though.
You know, the player
we don't
has a
know.
choice, and
So where are the Leafs right now? He did a good job with the signings, I think, of Nyes and Tavares, and getting Tavares to maybe take a hometown discount this time, which not many Toronto Maple Leafs have done. You get something back
That's
in the Marner
why
deal,
Joe Tavares
as
is the
mentioned,
true
instead of
Leaf.
letting him walk for free, but you're still losing a
Like
100-point guy and one of the better players in the
offered
league.
a
So
contract
where
of
are we,
less
MJ,
than $1 million,
right now?
and he'll take it.
Have they gone down?
There's no way you look at that roster and say they can beat Florida in a series.
And Florida's probably just going to hang out
But
and
that's
get the first wild
who in the
card.
Eastern Conference?
exactly, bro.
But who in the Eastern Conference would you look at today and say that team can beat Florida?
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Well,
So the
Matthew,
Leafs are lumped in with the rest of the group.
but
Well,
Matthew Tkachuk did
I
say
think the
toughest
Oilers
series was
could
against
have,
Tampa Bay.
if they had goaltending.
I know what he said, but like I mean,
Like if they had
again, he
goaltending
said
the
it,
last
and
2 years,
Tampa Bay
they'd
was
be
a good
winning
team. I'm not
cups,
saying
at least
that.
one of them.
5 games.
Like they got
We played that golf
everything.
match with
They
Gallagher.
got
He
all
reminded me
the
that I
top
have to
end
beat them 4
talent. They got the
times.
scoring.
Also
They
George
got
Stat's guy
depth.
also is a big
They
half
got
bench guy.
defense.
So he
But
said
they're
we
lacking
all have to- we just gotta get
goaltending.
into a series with
There you go.
Lack of goaltending is what
Calgary now and hear from their
killed the
general manager,
Oilers'
Craig
hopes
Conley.
of winning the cup.
you knew that this day was going to be.
Okay, we have one more guest to bring you today, and that's Brandon Tanev, who signed with the Utah Mammoth a little bit earlier on today.
Tanev.
Welcome, Brandon. Thanks for joining us. So you go through this. It doesn't happen often in your career. You get to free agency. Tell me the process, and what was Utah's pitch to get you there?
Yeah, of course, it's a busy day. I mean, start of free agency, and you know, for myself, a new beginning. I mean, to sign in Utah, it's extremely exciting. You've got an ownership group there that's there's a desire to be great. I mean, they love hockey there. I mean, going there and and experience it for the first time this year was something special. Their fans are incredible. They've got such a great young team with a lot of core pieces, and for that reason, I think they're a team that's right there. And I'm excited to be a part of this group, to go to work every day and to push and to battle with them to get into the playoffs and ultimately play hockey at the right time and trying to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it was so new to everybody. So I'm guessing you went there with Seattle. I don't know if you got there with Winnipeg, and you looked around and said, "Hey, I could play here." Yeah, absolutely. I think we were all excited, when on our previous teams to get there, and then once you got there and you saw the surroundings, how beautiful a place it was, and I think being part of a group that has so many great young core pieces, but also has a lot of good veteran guys. I got to work with their head coach Bear last year at the World Hockey Championships in Prague, and I like his style of coaching, the person he is, and I'm very excited to get things going down there with that group. The franchise has missed the playoffs 5 straight years, dating back to the Coyotes days. You feel they're close to changing that, as in this year? Yeah, I definitely do. I think we saw them this year and how good of a team they were, and I think Nate Schmidt's another Stanley Cup champion now recently the past year with Florida, who's coming into the group, but there's such a ton of great young players, added JJ Peturka, and it's exciting times in Utah. The desire is to be good and to be pushing to be playing in the playoffs and playing at the right time and playing to be in those games and fighting for the Stanley Cup. Brandon, appreciate you taking the time on this Canada Day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the summer, and best of luck to you in Utah.
Because one is in the room over there.
Because one's right over there.
Ooh, John Klingberg is going to the Sharks.
The process should be, if you're a Hall of Famer.
So I'm like, okay, this may be a miss, but then I look at
Pontus Holmberg is going to the Lightning.
Wins, right? Carey Price.
Philip Tomasino and Connor Dewar signed 1 year with the Penguins. Pontus Holmberg, 2 years, $1 million. John Klingberg getting 1 year. Ooh, Lars Eller is going to the Senators for a year. Oh, Justin Danforth is going to going to Buffalo. $1 million. The question is, how long? Nico Sturm is going back, signed a 2x2 to return to the Wilds. Still nothing on Miller yet. Seriously, is the Miller trade gonna happen or what? Oh, Mikael Granlund is going to the Ducks. 3 years, $7 million. Anyway, as I was saying, if it turns out that the Miller trade is a lie and just a rumor and he gets extended with the Rangers, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, it's a major signing. Even though it's only 3 years, but still.
You need more from Elias Pettersson. You're trying to appease Quinn Hughes. Thatcher Demko is back, so the band is back together for the Vancouver Canucks, and now they have to find a way to score more goals next season in order to make the playoffs.
All right, at last check today, we've had 64 UFAs signed for free agent frenzy today.
65. Top 5, Gavrikov, number 1.
We've been hearing from some of the general managers around the National Hockey League so far. Our next stop is the nation's capital, and Steve Staios. Hasn't been a busy day, wasn't expected to be a busy day in Ottawa with their core pretty much intact. Did their business with Claude Giroux, Nick Cousins signing at $825,000 a year, and Lars Eller gets a 1-year deal at $1.25 million. Let's hear now from Steve Staios.
Just on Lars Eller, and then I just want to ask another question.
Well, they're saying Ottawa is Canada's nation's capital.
I mean, another veteran with experience that's won, high character individual that can move around the lineup. And, we're looking to continue to build on our depth. And he was specifically,
Ottawa,
I think, going into this free agency was
Canada.
different than last year, where we had more areas that we were looking to address. And it was
69
going into this year, where really we were looking for one specific area that
balanced. They've got more
1
depth.
year,
Certainly, they've got versatility. I think this is
John
this really isn't a
Klingberg with the
gamble,
Sharks.
right? You can throw him in there.
Become what we all think Dylan Cousins
So
can
Carolina
become and
is
show
likely to be the
signs
new
of, but hasn't
backup
done it necessarily on
for the Senators.
Cousins, there's got to be an element of.
One last time with Cheryl Pounder, Craig Button, Jeff O'Neill, and Mike Johnson. We always do the segment at the end of Trade Center, winners and losers, because that's a defined period where the trade deadline is over. We're usually wrong, although I think a couple of you picked the
But
Florida
there were
Panthers as winners this year,
trades.
and you were bang on as they were the ultimate winners. So we're not going to call this winners and losers. We're going to call it winning and losing, because it's the first day of free agency, so a ton can change. So let's start with, so far, very early, who's losing?
July 1, all of us here today,
Yes.
right? And we can thank Bill Zito for that, of course, and watching just all of those #1 targets just kind of drop off the board. So I'm going to go with July 1, boys.
All of us?
All of us here. All of us here.
Gord Miller talked about the Toronto Maple Leafs losing 102 points. So the Leafs losing 102 points, they're losing. There's no way you can say they're winning today by losing Marner 102 points. There's lots of time for them to improve and work at getting better, but they're losing with Marner out the door.
I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers. A lot of talk was Connor McDavid, and the Oilers and their management team are going to sit back to see how they could show Connor McDavid how they're going to improve things and things to be looking forward to. And you just saw some guys walking out the door. There's been no change. And I do understand there's a bunch of time here, but there's just guys walking out the door. There's a lot of same. There's not a lot of guys around, period. They got a lot of work to do.
I'm going to losing the Boston Bruins. And not that the individual players they brought in, there's anything wrong with any of them, but you think about Arvidsson, Jeannot, Corrali, Eyssimont. They're all NHL players for sure, but the Boston Bruins no longer seem like an elite team that are a real
Yeah, and
threat to
also
be
they grossly
a Stanley
overpaid
Cup
bottom
contender. They're just
sixers.
another one of the several teams that are going to be lumped in the middle, and that's un-Boston-like.
Yeah, it's just been
Oh,
such a
Sean
long time since we've
Corrali.
said that, right?
He's going back
they've
to the
also always
Bruins.
been either
they just don't look elite right now.
or intriguing. All right,
And
those
so
are
Michael
good.
Eyssimont.
Positive. They're not close to good at this point in time. Winning right now, not winners. Although you could go with winners, but winning.
The Florida Panthers,
Oh,
the
I
reason
see
why
them
we're all
2
losers,
years.
because the Florida Panthers are able to secure the 3 players that
That's
they
new.
said they would after the Stanley Cup final, and that's in Ekblad,
Yeah,
Marchand,
the
and Sam
Panthers
Bennett. So
didn't
give props
lose
to Bill
much.
Zito. They're the winners today.
Yeah, nobody's
They
gonna
lose
top
players
answer,
that barely
right?
did
Because you're
much,
not gonna get
and
a
the
bigger
biggest
winner
thing they
than the
lost was
Florida
Nate
Panthers and what
Schmidt,
Bill Zito's
but he
accomplished over the
replaced
past
him
couple of weeks.
with Jeff Petrie.
You can't follow. We have to finish the segment. Give us somebody who's winning.
I think Mitch Marner. I mean, Mitch Marner, whether you like what he did or you didn't like what he did, he's winning. He's going to Vegas. What was it, $16 million that he would have had to get here on his contract to equal that? He's going to a spot where he could be better insulated and a chance to win. And I think that
And
he's driven
Vitek
to do
Vanacek
exactly
gets
that.
replaced with
The elbow
Tarasov.
room in Florida,
Possibly
Every little bar on
better,
the
a
beach is
better
winning
upgrade for
because I
backup,
think
but
with what Bill
still.
Zito has done, they will be back there, and I don't know how much money they made when the Florida Panthers showed up there with the Stanley Cup. All the beers that were bought, they're going to be back there next year. I don't see any team in the East that is going to take them down. The elbow room will be back, and they're winning as of right now.
And if you didn't know, it's cash only there. Just saying that. Winning for
Who
me,
knew that?
the Montreal Canadiens. Because the Dobson acquisition, the Bolduc trade, Kakinen, Sammy Blais, what they've done is they've made their team better now and into the future. They somehow managed to do both things at the same time, improve for next year, but also extend their window to eventually grow into becoming a Stanley Cup contender. They will have cap room. They have guys coming off their cap next year. They are perfectly positioned to not only make the playoffs and take a step forward, but keep progressing down the line.
Right. I will agree wholeheartedly with Cheryl, well, all your answers, but particularly Cheryl, because we lost because this was the worst free agent frenzy ever, right? It was. After all the crazy
depending
numbers last
on
year,
who
we
you
kind of knew-
ask.
Look, there's a lot of quality players that got signed and will help teams, but because of what happened with the Panthers and because of what happened with Marner, this usually happens on trade deadline, but not on the free agent frenzy. There's usually a ton of things that happen, and there wasn't on this day.
Jimmy, you're seeing the result of years back, teams decided when all these 6, 7, and 8-year deals were coming into play that every player or every team was locking down their solid player. And their good players aren't getting to this day anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And now you're seeing the result of it, and that's why we're having days like today.
The other thing is franchises got smart. I thought there might be some really ridiculous deals on this day.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
might find a couple in there.
Oh
but
yeah,
there
like
wasn't
the Bruins.
crazy amounts of money
Bruins
with the cap going up that I
lowball
thought
Brad
there would be on
Marchand,
this
one
day.
of the
I tell you what, there were also
legends.
winners because for all
Yet
hockey
you
commentators, it's summertime.
grossly overpaid for Tanner Jeannot.
But we
It's
still
like
have
Dougie
one big piece of
Hamilton
business left. Here's a
replaced
little time
by
lapse of our entire 6-hour production. But before you turn us off, please join us in our next segment because it's a special one.
It's like Dougie Hamilton, but gets kicked out. And then he gets replaced with Bolesky. Oh, Vitek Vanacek is going to the Utah Mammoth. Isaac Lundestrom, oh, his former Duck, 2 years with the Blue Jackets. Adam Gaudette, 2x2 for the Sharks. Oh, and Benoit Olivier Giroux is gone. We got rid of Nick Sechek. Dakota Mermis. Travis Boyd is going back to the Leafs. Jacob Vagna, Stanley Cup champion, 2 years with Vegas. Ooh, Boris Kachuk is coming back to the Lightning for 1 year. Mason Gertzen has returned. 2 years with the Buffalo Sabres. And that's pretty much it for now. But they didn't mention Michael Eisiman or Sean Corrali. I have no idea why. Free agent center. Maxim Shabanov. $67 points, 65. Oh, so we might get an undrafted Russian. Seriously, still nothing on the Miller trade. Like, what's going on? It was hours ago. Are we trading Keandre Miller or what? Oh, Dominic Toninato is going to the Blackhawks for 2 years.
The trade is 1-for-1, and everybody seemed to love that back in the day. So what I would say now is the trade is 1-for-none, as in I'm trading my semi-retired life of doing the World Juniors, draft rankings for Leaf games, free agent frenzy, trade deadline for absolutely nothing. Well, nothing in terms of real work, because today is my retirement day. And shutting her down after 48
Bob
years.
McKenzie's retiring?
Summer job at the Sioux Star in 1978. Here we are. It goes by in the blink of an eye.
Sioux Star, Globe and Mail, youngest editor-in-chief of the Hockey News, the Toronto Star, and then, what was it, 2000, where you joined
Justin
TSN
Danforth for 2
full-time.
years.
Now this means no insider trading, no
It means
World
nothing.
Juniors,
It means-
completely gone?
Yeah, like, I don't even think I'll answer your call again.
And I can't do the, you know, what the Florida fans did to Marchand in the bars and yell 4 more years,
you
and
can't.
change your mind?
No.
No chance whatsoever?
No chance.
You've worn so many hats in your
Oh,
career.
it's semi-retirement.
Insider and journalist and author. Bobby Margarita, maybe my favorite of your titles. Rapper and cowbell operator during our really stupid
Always need
music
more cowbell.
videos. Husband to Cindy and dad to Sean and Mike, and now proud grandfather to Blake and Gunnar. And I know you gave us strict instructions. It's a Bob McKenzie thing that he doesn't want ever attention on himself.
Bob
He's been that way his entire career.
McKenzie's gotta
we did-
retire.
Like that, but I'm not anymore.
Now you do want something. Well, we couldn't. We didn't want
I
anything
used to crave
fancy.
attention.
Well, you're going to get some because we couldn't let you go without putting together one tribute.
Tribute.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. We just want to say hi, and never really agreed with anything you said, but we're happy for you. You had a great career there. Welcome to retirement, Bob. Perfect. Hey, Bob. It's a lot of fun.
Come on in here, Bob McKenzie of the Hockey News. Or Bob!
Oh, Bob McKenzie when he was
Just a
young.
couple of minutes, some final thoughts.
Oh no, that's
Joining me
him.
at the TSN table today, Bob McKenzie.
Wow, it's really young.
now. For more on that, here's Bob McKenzie.
Immortal words of torts, that's a hypothetical question.
Oh, jeez.
And I'd prefer not to answer it.
When he said he was keeping the car and guys. You guys live?
Yeah, we are.
An entire spectacle, Pierre. Whoa. 2 goals for Jordan Everly, the same as what he got when Canada beat Russia 8-0 at the Under-18s last spring.
Wendell Clark looks as though he has been traded from the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Quebec Nordiques. The Edmonton Oilers have sent their leading scorer, Anson Carter, along with defenseman Alish Pizza
pizza,
Alex
whatever. He's
Pizza.
like really safer, and Mike Wallace. It was like
You were
60
sweating?
minutes. He picked all the bad stuff.
So I think it's going to be multi-player. I think we're looking at 5 or 6 players in total changing hands.
Happy 40th anniversary, Bob. What do you remember about those early draft coverage?
There was quite literally zero NHL draft coverage.
Being a reporter, you're generally recognized and acknowledging that you're at the bottom end of the food chain in professional sports.
Not close at all, unanimous. 10 out of 10 scouts surveyed by TSN has them the clear number one.
Earlier in the week, they pick up Owen Nolan, of course, and now the Toronto Maple Leafs have picked up defenseman Glenn Wesley.
People are talking about this guy taking the National Hockey League on his back and carrying it forward.
It will be interesting, Pierre, because there's lots of talk about movement between 2 and 5.
The game before that, though, in Philadelphia, Mario Lemieux basically mailed it in. It's Bob McKenzie with the Insider for TSN Sports Desk.
I'm Bob McKenzie.
We love you, Bob. Anything.
With the soundtrack of your favorite band, the Tragically Hip. We did leave out one piece of video at the 06 Stanley Cup Final. A fan jumped on our set and Bob cursed numerous times and almost killed the person. So we decided not to put that in, but it does exist somewhere.
I promised Mess I wasn't going to do this. That's, you kind of get a loss for words, and that doesn't happen very often with me. Excuse me, but you know, just it's a thank you to virtually everybody. I mean, my TSN family here, my family at home, Cindy, Mike, Sean, Gunnar, Blake, all of them. But everybody at TSN, it's been my full-time professional home for the last 25 years. And the best part about TSN, the job was great, facilities are great, it's the people. Mm-hmm. And they all know it, and I know it. My favorite thing is on this day, because it's Canada Day, and we're all proud Canadians. But when you walk out of here after a day like today, and I know it was a crappy free agent frenzy as far as those go.
Not for the Rangers.
Or free agent frenzy, we do it so well. People here do it so well. And TSN's the best people doing the best work. And when you walk out of there, you just say, doesn't get any better than that. And that's really a tribute to all the people. That's the greatest resource of TSN. And obviously, I need to thank anybody who's ever watched, listened, read. I never set out to be a hockey insider. I just wanted to be a...
Oh, Philip Kurashev's going to the Sharks for a year. He's no longer a Blackhawk anymore. Devils are marked. Devil fans were set to a bottom six that was unable to score. Now fans watch Rangers sign up. Oh, Jake Allen. Connor Brown. And St. Justin Dowling. Dowling is signing with... Oh, the Rangers have signed Justin Dowling. 2-year contract. This is a new development. What are you talking about? Jamie Vesey and Kevin Rooney worked out well with the Rangers. 2 years, $1 million. I mean, Dowlin's gonna be in the minors though. And still nothing on Keandre Miller. But that is pretty much it. That's pretty much free agent frenzy. A lot of big things happening, including the Rangers getting Vladislav Gavrikov, which is good. Like, our defense alone has gotten better from that move alone. Now, if we can get rid of Keandre Miller, even better. Assuming that it actually is gonna happen. Like, seriously, if the trade from Keandre Miller to the Hurricanes ends up being a rumor and not true, and Miller comes back to the Rangers, I'm gonna be not happy. But we definitely did well with the draft. Like, the best defenseman was available. The best defenseman was available in free agency, and we got him. He should definitely work well with Adam Fox. So, other than possibly trading Miller to the Hurricanes, assuming that happens, all that's left for the Rangers to do now is to extend Will Cooley. And we should be good. Justin Dallin, 2 years, 775. Okay, that's not that bad. And we know he's not going to be a big guy. So I only have 5 million left in... Oh, Evgeny Dadonov is going to the Devils. Oh, he's 36 years old. I didn't know. And Colin Blackwell got a 2-year extension with the Stars for 1 year. Okay, so it seems like the Rangers have 5 million in cap space. Like, they should have enough to extend Cooley. Like, you don't have to use all 5, but give them, like, let's say 3 to 4 million, and then give the rest either a million or less. I mean, like, Cooley's all that's left to do. Like, if we can get rid of Keandre Miller and extend Will Cooley, we should have hope coming in the next season. But for now, that is it for now. Thank you for watching on this interesting July 1st. Happy Free Agent Day, Happy Canada Day, and Happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Okay, so I'm currently working on my reaction to Free Agent Frenzy. Like, I finished recording like around 5 o'clock when everything finished. It's almost 10 o'clock right now. I should be in bed right now because I have work tomorrow, but I'm decided to record because only a few minutes after I finished the recording, big news happened. We've been waiting on this, and it finally happened. It is official. Keandre Miller has officially been traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. So Miller is gone. And what we got in return is Scott Morrow, a first and a second round pick. I mean, already first round and a second round pick, that's really good. And then we got Scott Morrow. He's a young prospect who looks good. Like, he technically made his debut last year with the Hurricanes. Of course, we won't be able to use him since we already got the right-handed defenseman we need. But if Fox, Schneider, or Borgen were to be out due to injuries or something, we can use Scott Morrow as our guy to fill in the gap. Or Matthew Robertson, which they've extended. And not only that, but Miller also immediately signed a contract with the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes signed Keandre Miller to an 8-year contract worth $7.5 million. An 8-year, $7.5 million contract for Keandre Miller, a defenseman that sucks. Like, really? Are they really that desperate for Miller? Like, with that signing, Miller is now the most expensive defenseman with the Hurricanes. Keandre Miller has more money than Jacob Slavin. Like, what? So Rangers continue to destroy the Hurricanes. Like, good riddance to Miller. Hurricanes, have fun with his declining abilities. So that was like 6:58. It was a few minutes after the trade. Oh, and also Alex Nedeljkovic got traded to the Sharks, despite him being the best goalie for the Penguins. So, with this trade, this is good. So all that's left to do is to extend Will Cooley, and our off-season would be complete. Well, around that same time, there were rumors that we got a deal done, and ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. Will Cooley is coming back. We just signed Will Cooley for 2 years of almost $4 million. The biggest free agent we needed to extend, and we did. So we got like under $1 million in cap space. I mean, all we really gotta do is extend Dylan Garand, and we're fine there. But we did it. Almost every single thing I wanted to happen. Oh, and also there's more moves that we miss. So we got Ryan McLeod got a 4-year extension for $5 million with the Sabres. Justin Brazeau 2 years with the Penguins. Simon Holmstrom is coming back to the Islanders for 2 years. Mikey Azamon 2 years with the Bruins. Jordan Harris for a year. Mike Riley is going to the Hurricanes for a year. Riley Stillman, Oilers. Alex Steves, Bruins. Matt Tompkins, Oilers. Ivan Prosvetov, the Flames. Sean Corrali is going back to the Bruins for 2 years. Riley Tufte, Jonathan Espicon, Luke Haviland, all Bruins. Will Cooley back with the Rangers. So pretty much almost every single thing I wanted the offseason, and it happened. It's like Matt Rempe extended, Adam Edstrom extended, Keandre Miller is gone, Will Cooley extended. The only unfortunate thing that didn't happen that I wanted was Zach Jones being extended, but Drury made up for it by giving us Vladislav Gavrikov. It's like, what a day. Thank God. It was the scariest day ever. I was worried that the worst would happen. But thank God the best case scenario happened. Wait, what? What? And now I just found out that the Rangers got to sign a 2-year deal for Taylor Radish. And we also got Derek Pouliot. Oh, and we also got Justin Dowling. But you know Dowling's going to the minors. But Taylor Radish? I mean, Radish is decent, but we pretty much already got all the forwards we need. Okay, looks like we're likely gonna send Berard to the minors. It's not that big of a deal though. We got Johnny Brodzinski and Taylor Radish. We should be fine. Oh, they showed highlights of Gavrikov's defense. He's number 84. Yeah, it's like Gavrikov just goes directly at the person with the puck and makes it hard for them to do anything. See, look. Like, if Miller was there, they would go past him easily, or they didn't have to do nothing, and Miller would give the opposition the puck. But Gavrikov, it's like, once he's on you, you're not allowed to do anything. It's like if the Florida Panthers was a man. Oh, show his highlights in the playoffs. Ooh, we nearly scored there, but Gavrikov got the stick in just in time. Ooh, what a block. Look, he just stopped Connor McDavid. Seriously, and some Ranger fans are upset that Gavrikov has replaced Keandre Miller because Gavrikov is older than Miller. Like seriously. After looking at these highlights, if you're still upset that Miller's been replaced by Gavrikov, then you clearly haven't watched hockey at all. Because I have, and I've seen Miller this season, and he sucks. He does a better job giving opponents goals than do it himself. Like, if his passes to other teams that score counted as assists, he would have more points than Adam Fox. But seriously, Miller just sucks at defense, makes stupid mistakes. But Gavrikov, he's a nightmare to face against. It's like facing the Florida Panthers. There's a huge improvement over Keandre Miller. Anyway, as I said, that's pretty much it. The season has the off season is over for the Rangers, and it ends in victory. I was scared that the worst of it was happening, but instead we got almost the best case scenario. We didn't lose Cooley, we got Gavrikov, we got rid of Miller, our defense is gonna be better. It's awesome. So I'll talk about all the moves in more detail when I get the chance, but until then, let's go Rangers.